No, thank you. Sleepy. You come back in an hour.
Need sleepy.
Please go away. Let me sleep for the love of God!
It's now time for the Billy C Morning Show, part of the Billy C Boxing Network. Interact with the show at BillyCBoxing.com.
And we're coming to you live from the Billy C Studios in Lake George, New York. I'm Bill Calogero, and it's time for the Billy C Morning Show. Good morning, everybody. Glad you could join us. Today's show is being brought to us in part by Sal's Neighborhood Pizzeria and Italian Restaurant located in the Golden Isles of Georgia, St. Simon's Island. Check out the website, www.salsneighborhoodpizzeria.com, or call the restaurant. Ask for my man, 912-268-2328, 912-268-2328. And don't forget, tell him you like his segment on the Billy C Morning Show, and he'll throw you a cannoli with your order. www.salsneighborhoodpizzeria.com. Check it out. Find out why I think Sal's makes the best pizza on the planet. www.salsneighborhoodpizzeria.com. Today's show is also being brought to us in part by JKJ Boxing Magazine. It's for free. You don't have to take a mortgage out to buy this magazine. Go to our website, www.billycboxing.com, and click on the magazine cover and download your free copy today. Now, if you like to have your magazine in your grubby little fingers like I do, and like I have the latest one right here in my hand, well then sign up and just pay for the postage and get the magazine for free. It's a pretty cool magazine, and like I said, click the magazine cover up on BillyCBoxing.com. And today's show is being brought to you in part by my book, Tom Molyneux, From Bondage, The Baddest Man on the Planet. Find out why I'm so adamant about getting everybody to know who Tom Molyneux was. This is a true story. And this guy was screwed because of the color of his skin back when he roamed the earth 200 years ago. And he's still being screwed because of the color of his skin. Read my book. You can get a copy of Tom Molyneux, From Bondage to Baddest Man on the Planet, where all good books are sold. And you can literally get a copy of it right now by visiting barnesandnoble.com or amazon.com. If you're looking to get a signed copy, fear not. Visit our website, www.billycboxing.com, and click on the book club section and follow the directions. Now, if you're heading up to the International Boxing Hall of Fame this year in June, I will have a table at the card show selling the book at a discount price, and I'll sign it for you right there. So make sure you get a copy. Listen, we got a lot of stuff going on today. We will be doing the show tomorrow and Thursday, and then hopefully next week we'll be back to our full schedule. Unfortunately, we had to make some changes the last couple of weeks, so apologize for that. We got a bunch of emails to go over, and if we don't get to your email today, we will get to it tomorrow. If you sent one, it will be read either today or tomorrow. I got fight results to talk about from this past weekend. Of course, the Triple G fight. We got a blast from the past scheduled for tomorrow on Joe Louis. We got scores to get you update on and all that. So, oh, wait a minute. I say we. Well, that's because my man, my partner in crime, Sal Rocky Cenicola. He joins me right now. What's up, Sal?
Good morning, Billy. How are you?
Damn, it sounds like are you behind me? You're louder in my headset than my own voice. But
I'm sorry, I'm speaking over lawnmowers.
Lawnmowers? It's raining here. People
nice
cutting
day
lawn
for a mow.
People cut. How about a Larry and a Curly? But people cut lawns at 8:00 in the morning in Georgia.
In subdivisions and landscapers, they got contracts. They're up here. I tell you, they start by 7. It's unbelievable. These guys.
Well, that's not too cool. Waking everybody up, no.
And that they do.
Yeah.
Not me. I've been up since 4.
Yeah. Well, I hear that. But we got a lot of stuff to talk about, Sal, and I'm gonna mix it up a little bit. Rather than go to the emails right away, I wanted to get right into it. First and foremost, before we get started, with the main discussion, which is, of course, Triple G's and performance this past weekend, and Roman Gonzalez. Our adopted Division III college baseball team, the Keene State Owls, had some pros and cons over the weekend. They lost a couple of tough games to UMass Boston on Saturday. They also lost a game on Sunday, so they're looking to get back on the winning track today. So for all the information about our adopted team, check out our website, www.billycboxing.com, and click on the Keene State Owls banner, which is right there on the left-hand side. Sal, this weekend, Triple G fought, he worked out a little bit for a couple of rounds against Dominic Wade. No surprises here. He knocked out Dominic Wade at 2 minutes and 37 seconds of the second round. Going into this fight, Triple G was a 110-1 favorite, which is justifiable. Did you get a chance to see the fight?
Oh, yeah, I saw it. And, the more I watch Triple G and his work ethic and his training and his lifestyle, this guy's the real deal for our contemporary times over here today. And, he was very methodical. He didn't rush into it, but he saw the opportunities and he took them. And I think Dominic's best offense was when he was quoted as saying, "It's going to be a war." I think that was the shortest war ever. But, Dominic Wade looked like, he was out there and he came into the fight to fight, of course. It's so funny, Billy. I noticed he had the same exact record as I did when I was fighting. He was 18-0 with 12 knockouts. I didn't get a title shot that time. Whoa. Well,
times are different today. If you have the right amount of money and you have a check in hand, you'll get a title shot. Triple G improves to 35-0 with 32 knockouts. That's 22 KOs in a row. Dominic Wade drops to, like you mentioned, 18-1 with 12 knockouts. At the end of the fight, there was some quotes, and Dominic Wade said, there were one or two things I could have done differently, but his power is real. He's a great champion, and he does everything very well. I think that pretty much sums it up, and I give Dominic Wade a lot of credit for giving him the accolades that I believe he deserves, and I agree with the way his assessment. I agree with what he said. I mean, this he does have punching power. It is for real, and he does do everything well. What do you think?
Let me tell you exactly what I'm saying. This guy does everything well. He's got a sharp, punishing jab that opens up opportunities. He worked the body. I saw him feint to the head. I saw him deliver jabs, then go with a hook to the body, then come up. He has a devastating combination with that left uppercut, and he just comes over the top like a coil being unleashed. Wham! Comes over the top with that short chopping right hand. And the final knockdown, there were 3 knockdowns, but the final knockdown where Wade didn't get up in time, that uppercut did the damage. All Golovkin did was hit him with that chopping short right on the top of the shoulder. It looked like from a camera angle he hit him on the chin. He didn't. He caught him on the shoulder, but he knocked him down. Devastating.
Yeah, he
unleashes power with his stance. Billy, he's fundamentally sound. He does it right. His balance is unique. He's got his feet underneath him, sometimes a little wide, but he's got his power. He's in a position to punch at all times, and he does what we're taught at a very young age. Each punch sets up the next punch and uncoils, and that's what he did. He did the uppercut, boom, overhand with the right, back with the hook. It's amazing. I love to watch this guy. He's exactly what we need up here in boxing today.
Yeah, and it's already. I'm already hearing from people and looking at a couple of emails I got, and I'm going to get to a little later. The naysayers. Oh well, he hasn't fought anybody. I'm so sick of that crap, Sal. Because when you take a look at the middleweight division, and you look at the top fighters in the middleweight division, which I happen to have in front of me right now, who isn't he fighting? I mean, who is there? The top guys. Of course, you got Canelo Alvarez. Canelo clearly doesn't want to fight him. You can't blame Triple G for that. Miguel Cotto. Miguel Cotto doesn't want to fight him. I don't even know if Miguel Cotto's going to fight again. Daniel Jacobs. Come on. It's not Danny Jacobs that's calling out Triple G. Triple G certainly isn't avoiding him. Billy Joe Saunders, he tried to fight Billy Joe Saunders. David Lemieux, he already beat him. Chris Eubank, come on. Chris Eubank, I don't know if he's ready, but hey, I'm sure if he gets a shot, he'll destroy him. Peter Quinlan is coming off a loss, and I don't hear him calling out Triple G. Hasim Nadam, I'm just going down the top 10. Does he really deserve? Is he an upper echelon fighter? I mean, who do these people expect Triple G to fight? I'm so sick of it, Sal, because the bottom line is it's bullshit. I can't say it any other way. They're all just not giving the guy the credit that he deserves. You can't criticize a fighter for not fighting anyone when they don't want to fight him.
Well, that is the old adage saying, and he's willing to face anybody, and you know what, he shouldn't be requested to drop weight or to gain weight to go into somebody else's weight division. He's the legitimate 160-pound middleweight champion of the world, and that's where he is fighting his best, and that's the title he holds. And if you want to force a fight, well, you make some compromise if he's willing to do so, but you don't have to. He's the champion. He's the solid, bona fide middleweight champion of the world. Bring all contenders on and see what happens. He's the real deal, Billy. I like this kid. He's great. And I think, I was in a chat room last night. I was on Facebook, and I'm a member of one of these boxing fan pages. And I got into a little debate because someone said something about Tommy Hearns would knock Triple G out in 2 rounds. And all I said was, I'm from that generation. I love those fighters. And you had Leonard, you had Hearns, you had Hagler, you had Benitez, you had any one of those guys could be champion today, sure. But you know what? That fight, Tommy Hearns doesn't stop Triple G within 6 rounds, 7 rounds. Triple G is going to take that and chop him down later in the fight.
Well, the truth of the matter is we make the same, comparisons with other fighters, and you go back to other eras, and they're fun to talk about. But unfortunately, nobody's got a time machine yet.
No.
And the thing is all we can gauge fighters is who they fight during their time, and are they fighting every available opponent? And the argument is, honestly, the answer for Triple G is no, he's not. He's not fighting the Saul Canelo Alvarez's and the Billy Joe Saunders, etc., Daniel Jacobs. But the truth of the matter is it's not because Triple G is avoiding him. I can't stand these fans. Sal, I got to be honest, and I've been saying this for several weeks. It's really hard for me to even do this show anymore. When boxing is in some serious trouble. People have been saying this for a couple hundred years, actually, but it really is. I mean, the way I look at it right now, and I said this about 7-8 years ago, the UK, the England fighters, and all of the United Kingdom, they're carrying the sport on their back, and I'm going to prove that in a couple of minutes. They're the fighters that are stepping up and fighting each other. They're the ones that are starting to gain all these title belts and stuff because they seem to be a crop of fighters that are willing to actually fight. The fighters here in the United States and the management teams behind them and the promoters behind them are so cautious and so scared to put their fighters in the ring that the end result is they don't fight anybody, and the fans have become stupid. And I say that in a way because they don't even see it. If they're that dumb, the fans, and I'm referring to the boxing fans, if they're that dumb to see that there's a smoke screen being pulled over their eyes, and Triple G is a great example of it. If the fans are that dumb to say, he's not fighting anybody, he's not willing to go down in weight and fight Saul Canelo Alvarez, I say, why should he? A title fight, like you said, 160 pounds. If the opponent wants to fight at 155, God bless him. But the middleweight championship should be at 160.
That's right. That's right.
I mean, come on.
And that's how it always was in the past, Billy. You had fighters, Billy Conn stepping up to heavyweight. You had Sugar Ray Robinson stepping all over the weight divisions. And they didn't ask for concessions. They didn't ask for special favors. They didn't ask for catch weights. It's a different era, a different generation. But you're so right, and you're so profound in your words. And yes, England and the countries in Europe, they are stepping up. They are looking to fight the best opponents they can, and I see that, and that's why some of them are going to be champions for a while. I mean, you look at even the Anthony Joshua. He's planted himself firmly as a young fighter, and I think we're going to hear noise from him for a long time.
Well, he's my point, and I'll get to that a little bit later with who he's going to be fighting next, and I think it really shows where the quality fights are, and we'll get to that in a minute. But on the undercard, the flyweight champion Roman Chocolatito Gonzalez improved to 45-0 with 38 knockouts when he won a 12-round unanimous decision over McWilliams Arroyo on Saturday. 119-109 twice and 120 to 108 were the way the judges scored that one. And what I thought about this fight, Sal, was this guy is methodical. He's another one of these fighters that just seems to do everything well. And I enjoyed watching it. We didn't see the knockout, but what we did see was a guy that stayed calm, cool, and collective and controlled this fight from the opening bell all the way to the end.
I saw the fight, and I saw the same, Billy. This guy, you introduced him to me when we were doing one of the fight shows at my pizzeria, and he's my kind of fighter. He fights, similar to my style, and he never relents. He's always in the pocket. He's taken the fight to his opponent, but he picks his shots. He's not wild. He's not crazy about it, and he's very effective. He wears on his opponents. And I can't say more accolades. This guy's great. I loved watching him, and I think it was the most entertaining fight of the undercard of the show.
Yeah, no, it was. I mean, as much as people like to see knockouts with the Triple G fight, I mean, it really wasn't entertaining. You know what I mean? So, it was entertaining to a degree, I guess. But, quite honestly, I would have liked to have seen it be a little more competitive, but that's not Triple G's fault. But one other fight I wanted to mention real quick, Nonito Donaire making his first title defense with his WBO Super Bantamweight title, destroyed Zolt Bidak in less than 3 rounds coming out of the Philippines this past weekend as well. 2 minutes and 44 seconds was the official time of the third round. Nonito improves to 37 wins, 3 losses, and 24 of those wins coming by knockout. Bidak drops for only the second time in his career, dropping to 25-2 with 8 knockouts. Just to jump to exactly what you said before, Anthony Joshua, who I think is one of the most exciting fighters in the sport today, coming out of England and the world. They announced his next opponent. He's fighting in London on June 25th, and it was announced yesterday that he's fighting Dominic Brazil, who's an undefeated fighter, 17-0. This is another Al Heyman fighter that is fighting, outside of the PBC blanket. And, this is another quality opponent for Anthony Joshua, something that these other fighters don't do, Sal. These other fighters are cherry picking and following the Floyd Mayweather model. And Anthony Joshua, who I believe kind of got a shot at the title a little early, but then again, he was fighting a guy that had no business even being a title holder. I think he's continuing in the right direction. I mean, he's fighting the right guys. I mean, Brazil is 17-0. I'm not saying he's got much of a chance against Joshua, but nonetheless, he's a big guy. and he's undefeated. He's still a big banger, and Joshua seems to be taking some chances, which I have to respect.
Yes, you're right, and I'll tell you what. Dominic Brazil is a pretty much of a gamer. He's a thumper. He's a puncher, and we saw him come back and win the fight that he was getting tagged early against his opponent a couple of months ago, and that's going to be a good fight. And as you said, I think Anthony Joshua is being brought along, and he's going to fight these formidable opponents and learn as he goes, and still improve as he goes. He's a young fighter, young heavyweight. But I think he's got a world of experience underneath him with his amateur career and his gold medal. But I think he's going to learn the pros as he goes, and he's doing a great job. He's a fundamentally sound, well-conditioned, powerful puncher, and he's one of my favorites today. Again, another fighter great for the game.
Let me. We got an email from my man Jesse and James, and let's see who else, Bjorn and Chris Flan. We're going to try to get to them all, but normally I start off with Jesse, because Jesse is always giving us some emails, and I've kind of made it a thing where I like to read his first. But Bjorn, I happened to have glanced at his before I came on the air, and it really pisses me off, and so I'm going to read his first. His subject title is Triple G. He says, so he's willing to go down to 154 only to fight Floyd, who's retired, and not Canelo. Ward wanted to fight, then they couldn't make it happen, so he moved on to Kovalev. At this point, Triple G needs to step up and fight somebody of note. We call other people divas, but Canelo's fighting Khan, and Ward is fighting Kovalev, both stepping up and challenging themselves. Triple G is still fighting second-tier talent. I usually respect Bjorn's opinion, but I think this is completely a ridiculous email. And, I think to me, it follows right what I was saying before, Sal. It's stupid. First of all, to suggest that Canelo is stepping up to fight Khan when he's made Khan move up not one but two weight classes to take this fight, to suggest that he avoided Ward. Ward said I'd fight him, but not next. So who backed out of that? I believe Ward moved up to light heavyweight just to avoid Triple G. So Triple G fighting second tier talent. Whose fault is that, Sal? It's certainly not Triple G's. It's all of these other opponents. Hey, but Jordan, who the hell do you want him to fight? Give me a name. Give me a name that Triple G is ducking. Give me a name. I just said that Daniel Jacobs doesn't want to fight him. All the names that we just talked about, they don't want to fight him. So give me a name, Bjorn. Show me what you're talking about, because you make no sense. You sound like a Floyd fan, and just because that Triple G is getting attention, you're crying like a little bitch. Now, you know what? Don't bother emailing me if you're going to email stuff like this. Sal, what's your thoughts?
Well, same thing. I'm sorry, that this is the kind of thought from the fans' perspective. But I think, as you said, Triple G's will fight anybody that will enter his 160-pound reign of domain, and that's the middleweight championship. Do I agree that he said he would go down and wait for one fighter and maybe not for another? No, I don't think so. I think he got lulled into that and was probably making a statement.
That was for Floyd. I mean, yeah. Listen, Floyd is an exception.
Floyd would be an exception.
Yeah, Floyd has to be an exception. If Triple G wanted to fight Floyd, listen, whether I agree with it or not, Floyd is in the driver's seat, and he's been around long enough, and he's established himself. He's got a fan base. He's clearly got the dollars behind him. He's got the pay-per-view numbers. I mean, he's in the driver's seat. Whether I think he could beat Triple G or not, Triple G would have to make some kind of consolation. And, 154 to fight Floyd, okay. I could see him, doing that. But anybody else, come on.
No. Exactly. No, and I respect your opinion. And I agree too, because that would probably be one of the best paid fight money drawing fights out there right now if that would ever happen. But more so than Mayweather and Pacquiao.
It just bothers me to get emails like this, especially from a guy like Bjorn who's been interactive with this show for a long time, and I normally respect his emails, and I still respect his opinion, about what he feels. But don't just say, oh, he's fighting second tier level talent. He's got to step up. Who? Just give me a name. Who's he ducking?
Rocky Marciano had that same kind of era of fighting. He was blamed that he didn't face too many of the toughest competition or toughest rivals that he could fight, and he didn't duck anybody. He fought everybody.
Well, he fought everybody that was available.
That was just the talent pool available at that time that he was reigning as a champion.
Exactly.
The same thing. Now, Golovkin's not fighting pushovers. He's fighting formal opponents that are out there, and there's going to be some more on the rise.
Well, here's the deal.
Come into contention.
Here's the deal. He is fighting what appears to be less than stellar opposition, and he is blowing through the less than stellar opposition. I agree with that aspect of it. But what else is he going to do? Not fight at all? And by the way, Dominic Wade was a mandatory for one of the belts that he had. He didn't even pick him. He was picked for him. Anyway.
You're right, Bill. And, let's look at David Lemieux. David Lemieux at the time was one of the top prospects, our top contenders that he could have faced. And, David Lemieux looked like he had the tools, looked like he had, the ability to stay in the fight. But, again, Triple G was very methodical, just wore him down and tore him apart later in the fight.
Yeah, no doubt. Hey, let me ask you something.
Yeah.
If you had some drugs, and I'm not saying illegal drugs, whatever, maybe you hurt yourself and you had some painkillers or something like that, and somebody stole them from you, and you needed them, they cost you a lot of money or whatever the case is, what would you do?
I'd call my doctor. I don't know. It's funny. You're asking the wrong guy because I barely ever any pain medication or anything. My thought with the whole pain incident, it's relative to your body. And if you're feeling pain, with my boxing, when I was given some pain medicine for this shoulder or that one or this, I said, no, I don't want it because my body's telling me this needs to be watched and looked at. And if I'm feeling pain, it means I can't exert it the way I can. If I got some pain that's blocking my nerve sensors that's going to allow me to execute, I'm going to further damage that area. So I listen to the pain and I follow it and I endure it and I live with it. I don't take painkillers.
Well, Italian boxing champion Mirko Ricci, or Ricky, I think it's pronounced Ricci. Apparently, a woman stole some drugs from him. Now, I don't know, what the degree of the drugs were. The news out of Rome, Italy, doesn't specify. Just that the champion WBU light heavyweight champ, Mirko Ricci, Ricci. It's Ricci. How do you pronounce that in Italian?
It would be probably Ricci.
Ricci. So Mirko Ricci. What does he do when this woman stole the drugs from him? Well, he joined forces with his sister, his mother, and a 25-year-old girlfriend, and of course they did what any WBU light heavyweight champion would do. They kidnapped this woman's 9-year-old kid and held her for ransom to get the money back that she took in drugs. And of course, this woman called the police, and both Rich. How did you pronounce it?
Let's call him Richie.
Richie. He and his mother and his sister and his girlfriend were all arrested, and the funny thing is that apparently this same guy was arrested a couple of years ago in July of 2014 for beating up a guy in the street who allegedly attempted to rob him. And then a couple of days later in Italy, a couple of guys drive past him on a scooter and shoot him in the legs. Only in Italy, Sal. This can only happen in Italy, my man. What do you think? Crazy, huh?
Oh, that is crazy. That is funny. I'll have to look at that on the web.
Oh my God! Crazy stuff. I wanted to leave you with that because.
Well, thank you. Hey, we got a lot. When we have time, we'll talk about more of the political arena. We'll see what's going to happen with the big sweeps of the count of the delegates after today.
Tomorrow, yeah,
five
on tomorrow's
states.
On tomorrow's show, we'll see how everybody did in today's primaries, and we'll talk about that when we get together tomorrow, my man.
Sounds good, Billy. Sounds real good.
All right, Sal. I'll talk to you soon, my man.
You have a great day, Bill, and thank you so much. Take care, pal.
All right, brother. Take care. That's Sal, Rocky, Cenicola. I got to take a break, and when I come back, I'm going to get you caught up on some sports scores, and guess what's back? Deflategate. Hey, fight fans, check out KOFantasyBoxing.com. KO Fantasy Boxing is boxing's only trademarked fantasy game. Check it out, www.KOFantasyBoxing.com. Select your own gym, your own fighters, track them through a season that can last from 3 months to a year, depending upon which league you join. You got to check this out, man. www.KOFantasyBoxing.com. Join it today. Again, www.KOFantasyBoxing.com, and tell them Billy C sent ya.
Check out BillyCBoxing.com now, or feel the wrath of the mighty mustache.
Oh, that hurts. Why are you doing that to my face? I hate you.
That's BillyCBoxing.com. Consider this your warning. Now, back to the Billy C Morning Show. Interact with the show at BillyCBoxing.com.
And we're back. You're listening to the Billy C Morning Show. Today's show is being brought to you in part by Sal's Neighborhood Pizzeria. Check it out, www.salsneighborhoodpizzeria.com, and JKJ Boxing Magazine. See what I'm talking about. Visit our website, www.billycboxing.com, and click on the JKJ Boxing Magazine banner, which is on the right-hand side. Well, it's back. No, not any creatures from the other side. I'm talking about Tom Brady, which we got bombarded with last year about the Deflategate and all of this stuff. And listen, look, I'm a Jets fan, all right? And I can't stand the New England Patriots. Being a Jets fan, they're like our arch enemy, right? And you know, I don't like Tom Brady per se, only because he beats our ass every time he plays us. But as a player, he's obviously one of the best in the league. And for that matter, so is Bill Belichick as a coach. And the rest of the Patriot team is, top notch. Apparently it was announced yesterday that the court, the U.S. District Court, and specifically District Judge Richard Berman, said that it's open again and that they're going to reinstate the 4-game suspension that Tom Brady beat the NFL out of last year. My big question is this: why? I mean, can't we just let it go? And because this is ridiculous. The NFL shouldn't go outside of that. Apparently, the judge, which there was 3 judges that were on a panel, they said our obligation is limited to determining whether the arbitrational proceedings and award met the legal minimum standards established by the National Labor Reactions Act, and basically it didn't. So get ready to hear all of that. They're talking about his 4-game suspension kicking off the season, and him missing the 4 games. He would come back and be able to play. His first game would be Week 5 against the Browns. So he would miss the first game of the season against the Cardinals, and then 3 home games the Dolphins, the Texans, and the Buffalo Bills, all games that he would miss according to this ruling. So some crazy stuff there. Get you guys caught up on some scores in Major League Baseball. The White Sox beat the Blue Jays 7-5. Tigers over the A's 7-3. Red Sox blanked the Braves 1-0. My Mets beat the Reds 5-3. They won 9 of their last 11 games. The Mets have, so maybe they're back on a winning track. Of course, Rays beat the Orioles 2-0. Yankees topped the Rangers 3-1. The Twins over the Indians 4-3. Pirates over the Rockies 6-1. Diamondbacks 12. Cardinals 7. Angels 6, Royals 1, Mariners 3, Astros 2, Marlins 3, Dodgers 2, and the Giants squeaked by the Padres 5-4. Also, we got some other scores for you in basketball playoffs. We got the Hornets beating the Heat 89-85 to tie the series. Which is now at 2-2. The Thunder, they win their series against the Mavericks by beating them 118-104. FYI, they beat them 4-1 for that series. The Trailblazers beat the Clippers 98-84 to tie that series 2 apiece. In the NHL, the Predators topped the Ducks 3-1. That series is tied 3-3. It will go to a tiebreaker next game. And the Blues break their 3-3 tie with the Blackhawks 3-2 to win that series 4-3. In some other news, Yuriorkis Gamboa and 50 Cent reconcile their differences. They're buddies again. They're working together again, and they're looking to get another shot at a world title later this year. Another email I want to read. My man Jesse says, "Hey Billy C, what's your thoughts on Canelo saying that Triple G's opponent are not compared to the opponents he's faced?" They asked Canelo, saying that Triple G said he wants his belt, and Canelo says, "Where's his name on this belt?" He also said, with the level of opposition, what can you say? Basically, Canelo and his team are ducking Triple G. If Canelo doesn't want to face Triple G, then why the hell did he say, "I'll face Triple G right now" after his win over Cotto? I'm tired of these games and politics, Billy C. This is why boxing's not popular and we don't get the best fights. Even though I like Canelo and give him a good chance, don't play games, Canelo. Fight Triple G and don't discredit him. I agree with Jesse 100%. 100%. I couldn't have said it better. He says, Billy, I thought Wade would challenge Triple G more, but I was wrong. Yeah, I thought he would give him a better fight, but it is what it is. I mean, that's how much better Triple G is. So I appreciate the email. Jesse, he also says he's still having trouble getting our stream. I don't know why. Go to our YouTube page. Go to the BillyCBoxing.com page. You can play the most recent show right on the front. You can subscribe to the podcast that we have. It's for free, so I don't understand what the problem is there, my man. My man James says, here on the West Coast, HBO pulled the switch. Triple G was scheduled, but we got a pissant Jurassic dinosaur movie. Did they pull that crap on the East Coast too? No. It sounds like you might have went to the wrong channel. Listen, we got to cut it short. I got some other emails that I'm going to read tomorrow. We got our Blast from the Past tomorrow. We got Larry Hazard coming up tomorrow. We got all of that. So make sure you stick around tomorrow, that is. Come back tomorrow. But I'll leave you with this. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow morning. Same bad time, same bad channel. Until then, ciao, baby.